So today I'm going to be doing a last gamble deck, except it's not your normal last gamble like Desert Twister or whatever. It's going to be a Final Destiny last gamble, and this is a common drop from standard duelists. It was really hard to get back. I got it though back when I played the game and I wasn't playing competitive. I just got 3 of them right away when I was still stage 5. And it says, like you could read, discard 5 cards, destroy all cards on the field. So what you're gonna do is you play all kinds of fiends, that the dark mimics, that when they die you draw a card. But this one flips. You also play Thunder Dragon because it's a +1 if you draw one, so you can draw it, discard, add 2. That way you have more fuel for this. And Dark Necrofear, because all these are fiends, and Dark Necrofear is your win condition, because it can just do more than half of their life with an attack. And you play 2 Spear Karibos, because it's a fiend also, and it can stop your opponent from killing you, since you'll be using Last Gamble, and you will only have 100 life after you use it. So if you don't know what it does, it says it can be used during the main phase of your 5th turn. Upon activation, reduces your life points to 100 and discards 2 cards from your hand. Then you roll a dice and draw the cards that you get. So it's really good with this because you can draw more cards for Final Destiny, or you can draw into that Dark Necrofear that you just couldn't draw because you're bad at drawing hands. It's worked out really well for me, and I have some replays, and I figured that maybe in a next video I'll be doing some gameplay with it, but I have 2 replays for today. So, and you have the Theban Nightmare. I only have 1 of him, but if I had more than 1, I'd probably only play 1. So he goes to 3,000 while you don't have any spell or trap card zones or cards in your hand. And I was thinking about adding in the Gaia. What's his name? Swift Gaia. Just because you may not have any cards in your hand, but he is a warrior, and with Last Gamble you have a lot of cards even when you use Final Destiny, so I think I'll keep him out. So I'll just show you 2 replays, and then maybe in the next video I'll show you some gameplay. This is pretty funny. One of them was playing up against, it was a bad player. He's playing Neutralia, and he was bad, but still, he negated, well, I'll show you in the replay. Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. Oh, I forgot how much this game loads. But you can also play any fiend in the deck, or you can play Crystal Seer to try and fish out the Final Destinies. But it's not a fiend type, so it's harder to summon 2 Dark Necrofears and then attack for game. And you want to go first in the deck. You don't have a choice, but if you go first, then you can get Final Gamble faster, and you can set one of your mimics, so you can draw. And if you go second, then it feels like, to me, it takes more turns to get your Final Gamble. So you can see that I opened a great hand for going first. And when I saw this, I was like, oh no, we lose to this deck because it can OTK. But it seems like the Marin's all he has. So normally this would be the best hand ever, but I drew 2 Thunder Dragons, which is really bad. All it can do is mill my deck 1, so I can draw the cards that I want to. And I don't know, I guess he bricked or something, because he just sits there. I mean, he attacks, but I don't know. Yeah, and then most likely, every game I've played, I've drew the Final Destiny. Just, I don't know, I guess I'm lucky or something, but it comes through. he's just passing and drawing. Normally they do the plain old combo. They summon the pumpkin. They special summon the beetle, that thing. Then they bring out the Hydrina. Yeah. Oh yeah, and you gotta make sure that you do not discard any cards for at the end of your turn, because that really puts a kink or whatever in your plan. Because one time I forgot to set the final gamble. Final destiny. Yeah. Now here, this is the part. This is the turn. So you discard your Thunder Dragons if you do not have any fiends in your grave. So I rolled the 6. 3 cards left in the deck. My final destiny. Now this is the dumbest game of my life right here. Discard 5. And then he plays, I don't even know what that card is. Judgment of an Anubis. Who plays that card? Like, especially in an OTK deck. It's so dumb. It's like minus, what, 5 for me? But I just activate the other one. And then I nuke the board a second time. And I had the Doom Dog that lets me search the Dark Necrofear because it was sent from the field to grave. I got rid of what? An Econ and then some other crap. And then I have so much fuel for the Dark Necrofear in the graveyard that, just summon and attack. That's basically how the deck works. It's a 22, but actually I would want some more of those Theban Nightmares, because 22 and then 3,000. And like you saw, I had 6 cards left in my hand after I already discarded 5. So the deck, you're not going to be with one hand. That's why I never had the Swift Gaia, so. I mean, it kind of works. I used it all the way. I used it to get to Platinum 2. I think I'll do some climbing the ranked next video. I have this one. I think this one might be against Toons. Or something. Yeah, I played it against Toons one time. I don't think this is it. But you could also add what's it called? Trance Archfiend helped me one time, because when it's sent from the field to the grave, you can target one of your banished fiends and return it to your hand. So what I did was I knew I was gonna die, so I was gonna lose. Our Dark Necrofear was gone. I drew it and I set it on the ground. I set it on the field. I had a Dark Necrofear in the I had Dark Necrofear in my hand, and I had 2 fiends in the grave. He had 2 monsters, and I was gonna die. So when he killed it, I added the banished Spear Kribo from my banish to my hand, because it was sent from the field to the graveyard. So I discarded it and lived, and then I had the fiends in the grave for Dark Necrofear, and then it took a couple more turns, but then I won. I don't remember what this replay was, but balance. Oh, it's this guy. I don't even know what deck it is. He just has a bunch of good cards, I guess. Yeah. But I think this deck's really easy to put together. You can't just throw it together though. If you play the game for a while, because Final Destiny, you have to really farm some of the people, the standard duelist. And Dark Necrofear is really hard to get. To have 2 of them, you'd have to be in both of the Yami Bakura events. But these things, not that. Where is he? Oh, I just discarded him. Oh, never mind. I'll show you later. The Dark Mimics, yeah. High rolling in this deck is just so good. And then I open up in the Thunder Dragon, which gives me another Thunder Dragon. So that's why this deck can just be crazy sometimes. But the plan is to make 2 Dark Necrofears and then have 2 Spear Karibos in your hand. But you gotta make sure that you have 6 Fiends in the grave. Like, look at that. That's the ideal thing, because you have protection, because you have 2 of these in case they have something, like, in case you're going for game and they haven't Karibo. So they're just added protection. Or if you need to summon one of those 1,000 Dark Mimics for game and they Ebola it, but then you have yours.